Whether you're stuck in traffic, hitting the gym, or just winding down, we are here to spill the hottest tea from your favorite Bravo shows. From the wildest reunions to the quietest social media unfollows, we cover it all. So welcome back to Reality TV Podcast and Clips. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Let's get into it on 3, 2, 1.
Right into it.
We are starting immediately with our deep dive into the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills because Lisa Rinna has surfaced with some commentary that really kind of fundamentally changes how we view her departure from the franchise.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, she recently appeared on a radio show, and rather than the usual, vague PR statements we always get about mutual decisions, she offered a very specific, almost cinematic explanation for why she left. It centers on this single moment of realization.
It really does shift the narrative for her. Usually when a housewife leaves, we hear about contract disputes or wanting to focus on family, but Rinna is describing an actual psychological break.
Right.
She pinpointed the exact second she knew the ride was over.
Yeah.
It wasn't in a boardroom. It was at BravoCon. She described spotting Kathy Hilton's publicist in the crowd and having this immediate visceral reaction.
It paints quite a picture for you as a listener. You have the total chaos of BravoCon, fans screaming, cameras flashing everywhere, and then she sees this one publicist and describes the feeling as the wheels coming off the bus.
Which is such a vivid way to put it.
It really is. And she admitted that during her final season, season 12, she simply couldn't contain herself. She was grieving her mother, Lois, and she candidly stated that she was acting out, and everyone around her, the cast, the crew, could just feel that she had hit a complete wall.
That admission of grief is significant. It contextualizes the volatility we saw on screen. But what takes this from, a personal story to a broader structural analysis of Beverly Hills society is what she said next.
Yeah, the social fear aspect.
Exactly. She described a social fear that goes far beyond reality television. She told the host that when she saw that publicist, her internal monologue was literally, "Here they come, they're gonna bleep kill me."
And to be completely clear, she isn't implying a physical threat there.
No, of course not.
She is talking about a social execution. Rinna made a really fascinating claim about the infrastructure of high society in Los Angeles and New York. She asserted that the Hilton family has run those social worlds for 30 years.
Yeah.
She is essentially saying they hold the keys to the kingdom, they decide who gets the invite, who chairs the gala, and who is systematically cut out.
It's a discussion about soft power, really. Rinna is suggesting that the Hiltons operate as the ultimate gatekeepers of the elite. If you cross them, the punishment isn't just a bad edit on a TV show. It's being erased from the social register entirely.
Which explains so much.
It explains the behavior of the other women on the cast. Viewers always wonder why everyone, even veterans like Dorit, tiptoes around Kathy Hilton. Rinna is arguing that the fear is systemic. They aren't afraid of Kathy, the cast member. They're afraid of the Hilton machine that can render them socially irrelevant.
It is Game of Thrones politics played out with, charity dinners.
Yeah.
And of course, Rinna is taking that fear and packaging it. She has a book coming out titled, "You Better Believe I'm Going to Talk About It." So she is clearly ready to monetize that exact tension.
Which is the ultimate move for her. She identifies the power structure, claims to be a victim of it, and then sells the story of her survival.
Exactly. Now, moving from the high-stakes social chess of Beverly Hills to a much grittier, boots-on-the-ground conflict in Orange County, we have a situation developing between alum Kelly Dodd and plastic surgeon Dr. Divya Srinivasa that has moved way past internet trolling and right into legal territory.
This is a textbook case study in how influencer marketing intersects with defamation law. It's incredibly messy.
Very messy. Kelly has been attacking Dr. Divya publicly using some very colorful and frankly insulting language. She's calling her a fake doctor, a troll whack job, and a snaggletooth weirdo.
Wow.
Yeah. But the aggression stems from Kelly's belief that Dr. Divya is actively sabotaging her income by contacting the brands she works with. Kelly is threatening to sue, claiming she is in sue mode to recover damages.
We really need to pause on the fake doctor comment, though, because that is where the real legal risk lies for Kelly. Dr. Divya is a double board-certified plastic surgeon specializing in breast reconstruction. She works heavily with cancer patients.
Right, she has real credentials.
Absolutely. When you call a medical professional fake in a public forum, you are potentially committing defamation per se, because you are directly attacking their professional licensing and their competence.
which makes Kelly's whole strategy very risky. But the sabotage element is where the facts get even clearer. Dr. TEDDI issued a rebuttal that really just dismantles Kelly's narrative.
She brought the receipts.
She did. She clarified that she didn't personally call these brands to tattle on Kelly. She said the internet, basically the collective user base that found Kelly's behavior objectionable, sent the clips to the brands.
And this brings us to the metrics, which is fascinating. Dr. TEDDI claims that when she did actually communicate with these brands, their response was that they weren't working with Kelly anyway. They reportedly told the doctor that Kelly's promo codes had been inactive for quite some time.
That is the detail that hurts the most, I think. It's one thing to say, you got me fired, but it's another to find out you were already effectively fired because your codes just didn't work. It suggests Kelly might be fighting over partnerships that didn't even exist anymore.
It completely undermines the claim of financial damages. You can't sue for lost income on a contract that was already void. And to make matters worse, Dr. TEDDI pointed out a really significant error in Kelly's threats.
Oh, the lawyer thing.
Yes. Kelly tried to name-drop her attorney to intimidate the doctor, but she mistakenly referred to him as Anthony Weiner.
Which, for anyone who follows politics, is a very unfortunate mix-up. She confused her lawyer with a former congressman and registered sex offender.
It's a Freudian slip moment that just completely strips away the intimidation factor. If you are going to threaten high-level litigation, accuracy is paramount. Dr. TEDDI's stance is essentially that Kelly is creating her own problems by posting public content, and you simply can't sue the audience for reacting to what you choose to publish.
It really is a comedy of errors at this point. But Kelly is still trying to remain visible on our screens. She mentioned filming for Jeff Lewis's show, still flipping out. She also alluded to a cameo on The Golden Life through her friendship with Jill Zarin, but that avenue seems to have closed.
Right, we have to look at the network decisions there. It's been widely reported that Jill Zarin was let go from The Golden Life following a rant she made about a Super Bowl performance that was criticized as racist.
Right, and we're just reporting the facts of that fallout.
Exactly. We're just looking at how it impacts the network ecosystem. Because Jill is out, the production connection that would have brought Kelly in is likely severed. So while Kelly is confirmed for Jeff Lewis, the door to the other project appears shut.
It seems like the landscape is definitely shrinking for her a bit. But let's take a breath for a second. We've had social exile and legal threats. Let's look at something genuinely happy coming out of the OC. Bronwyn Windenberg has shared some major family news.
Yes, a really nice pivot to something life-affirming for a deep dive. Bronwyn is going to be a grandmother.
It is wild to think about. We watched her navigate that massive family dynamic on the show, and now her daughter Bella is expecting.
Bella and her husband, Douglas Tuahi, are expecting their first child in August. Bronwyn recently shared the ultrasound photo, which was beautifully framed by roses. It's a significant milestone, especially considering the whole family's journey over the years.
And the nicknames are already locked in. Bronwyn is calling herself Mama B, ready for duty, and her wife, Jennifer Spinner, is going by Grandpa Jen.
It's a very sweet evolution. Bronwyn has been very candid about the ups and downs of parenting 7 children, but she has always expressed immense pride in Bella. Seeing Bella get married and now start her own family really seems to be bringing the whole family of 10 unit closer together.
It's a rare moment of pure, wholesome content. But, as we know, in this genre, peace is usually just the calm before the storm.
Oh, always.
The trailer for Season 3 of The Valley has dropped, and it is absolutely loaded with conflict.
It is. The trailer does a very good job of laying out the season's architecture, and the foundation is clearly built on crumbling relationships. The headline grabber is definitely the dynamic between Tom Schwartz and Michelle Sanny.
I still have to process this pairing. In the trailer, there is a moment where Schwartz looks at Michelle and says, "Michelle, you're gorgeous." And it's not subtle at all. The rest of the cast is actively pushing them together.
They're curating the romance in real time. Janet Caperna is seen at a party asking the group, "Who's gonna kiss?" And then she just answers herself with Schwartz and Michelle, and Lala Kent is there too, suggesting a threesome while sitting in bed with them. It feels like the group has decided this is the storyline they want to produce.
But the fallout is real. Michelle's estranged husband, Jesse Lally, is in the mix, and the bitterness there is just palpable. He calls Michelle performative in the trailer, essentially accusing her of dragging out their divorce for the sake of the show.
That accusation of being performative is a very common weapon in reality TV divorces. It completely invalidates the other person's emotions. But Jesse's new relationship with Lacey Nicole also seems incredibly fraught with tension.
Yeah, that one scene.
There is a scene that is honestly painful to watch, where Jesse tells Lacey, "I love you," and her response is a flat, deadpan thank you.
That is the ultimate rejection. Thank you is worse than silence. It's a business transaction response to an emotional declaration.
It signals a massive imbalance of affection. It's a glaring red flag that the relationship might be entirely one-sided. And looking elsewhere in the cast, we see Nia Bucco struggling. She opens up about feeling out of control postpartum with her fourth child.
I think that is such an important inclusion for the show. We so often see the snapback culture on television, but seeing a mother admit to the mental load and the feeling of losing control is very grounding.
It provides necessary depth to the season. We also see Kristen Dowd and Luke Broderick facing some serious intimacy issues, which adds another layer of relationship strain to the group dynamic.
It's everywhere.
Right. And then on the other end of the relationship spectrum, we have Brittany Cartwright. She is finally firmly moving on from Jax Taylor. She's dating Brandon Hansen, and her endorsement of him is fascinating. She describes him simply as emotionally stable.
In the Bravo universe, emotionally stable is basically like winning the lottery. It is the highest praise possible.
Janet even responds by saying, "That's normal," which really highlights how skewed Brittany's baseline for relationships had become during her marriage to Jax. It underscores that she is just looking for safety and predictability after years of total chaos.
Speaking of chaos, we have to mention Zach Wickham. The trailer closes with him screaming, and I will censor this, F you, F you, F everyone.
It's a total meltdown. It suggests that the friend group, which was the entire premise of the show to begin with, is fracturing. When you have someone yelling F everyone, it usually means the alliance is completely broken down.
I cannot wait to see how we get to that point. Now, we are going to switch franchises to Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. There is a casting shakeup and a lawsuit that involves some very specific, very damaging allegations. We're hearing Demi Engeman has been demoted.
That is the report. Sources indicate she has been moved to a friend of status for the new season. For listeners who might not know the industry terms, a friend of is a recurring guest. They don't hold a peach or a snowflake, they usually aren't in the opening credits, and they generally have a reduced salary. It is effectively a demotion in the hierarchy of the show.
But the bigger story surrounding her is the legal war she is in with Marciana Brunette. This goes back to their time on Vanderpump Villa. Demi accused him of sexual assault. He sued her for defamation, claiming she invented the story to protect her marriage.
And we are just analyzing the legal strategy here. Defamation cases are notoriously difficult because the burden of proof is very high. But Demi is now filing to dismiss his suit, and her strategy is aggressive. She is arguing that he's using the lawsuit solely for media attention. To support her motion to dismiss, she is attacking his character directly in the filings.
She is not holding back at all. She claims he has a reputation for predatory behavior. But there is one detail in the filing that is incredibly specific regarding his workplace.
Yes, the special policy allegation. Her legal filing claims that Marciano bragged about a previous workplace having to institute a policy specifically prohibiting him from sleeping with employees. The allegation is that he had slept with such an extraordinary number of subordinates that the company had to create a rule just for him.
That is a staggering claim to put in a court document.
It is a major strategic move.
Yeah.
In a defamation case, your reputation is the core asset in question. If the defense can prove that your reputation was already compromised by a pattern of behavior, it weakens the claim that this specific accusation caused the financial or social damage. She is trying to show a pattern to validate her own experience.
It is a very heavy legal battle, and she is asking for him to pay her legal fees as well. We will definitely have to see how the judge rules on the motion to dismiss.
It will definitely set a precedent for how these types of reality TV disputes are handled in court going forward.
Now let's talk about the Real Housewives of Potomac reunion. The tension between Ashley Darby and Wendy Osefo has finally exploded, and it is all about receipts and credit cards.
This dispute is anchored in a report from the Baltimore Banner regarding the arrest of Wendy and her husband Eddie for alleged insurance fraud. The report stated that prosecutors claim to have found 67 credit cards and aliases associated with the couple.
That number 67 is exactly what Ashley latched onto. At the reunion, she threw that in Wendy's face, saying, "Your 67 credit cards say otherwise." Wendy immediately shut it down, stating, "I have one Social Security card," and she flatly denied the allegations in the report.
It was a direct confrontation of facts on the stage. But the emotional betrayal was the real story of this segment. We know Ashley publicly apologized for making jokes about Wendy potentially going to jail, She played the role of the concerned friend in public. But Wendy came to the reunion with leaked text messages that revealed a very different private sentiment.
This is exactly why you never text what you don't want read on a reunion stage. Wendy revealed that Ashley was texting Stacey Rush right after the news broke. While Ashley was acting concerned on social media, the text to Stacey said she didn't feel bad and that Wendy deserves it.
That is the sneaking gun of inauthenticity. The text exchange showed Stacey asking if Ashley was upset and Ashley replying, yes and no. She pivoted from feigned concern to saying Wendy had been condescending and therefore deserved the legal trouble.
And Wendy's response was lethal. She looked at Ashley and said, "My children don't know who the hell you are."
That line is devastating because it establishes total distance. It's Wendy saying, "You think we are rivals. You think we are friends. You are nothing to me." It completely erases Ashley from her personal reality.
It effectively ends the relationship right there. There is no coming back from finding out someone solicited your arrest in private.
No, the trust is gone. It confirms that the on-camera friendship was purely for the show.
Before we wrap up our deep dive today, we need to discuss a much more serious update. We cover a lot of petty feuds and drama, but real life happens to these people too. TEDDI Mellencamp has given a very raw update regarding her health.
Yes, this came from a recent update on her own platform. As many listeners know, TEDDI is battling brain cancer. She opened up about a specific side effect she is experiencing right now, which is significant memory loss.
She described it as feeling sad and lonely. She said she feels like she has lost the last year and a half of her memories. She specifically mentioned that she doesn't feel like she has her memories from before the diagnosis anymore.
That is profound. Memory is the glue of identity. To lose that narrative history is to lose a part of yourself. She admitted that she thought she would be in a better place health-wise by now, but the reality of a long-term battle is really setting in for her.
She also discussed the physical toll of the treatment. She talked about dreading immunotherapy because her veins are simply worn out. She's afraid she might need a port installed soon.
It highlights the sheer physical exhaustion of chronic illness, and she connected this back to her family life, which was heartbreaking. She mentioned missing the family unit, remember. She is going through a divorce from Edwin Arroyavi simultaneously. She talked about her children asking about spring break plans, and she can't give them an answer because she doesn't know what her health will look like in a few months.
It is a heartbreaking reality check. It puts the fake doctor insults and the reunion fights into a very sharp perspective.
It really does. If we look at the spectrum of what we discussed today, it's remarkably broad. We started with the Hilton family exercising high-level social control in Beverly Hills. We moved through the transactional, messy world of influencer promo codes in the OC. We dissected the breakdown of marriages on the Valley. And we ended with a very human, very vulnerable woman facing a life-threatening illness.
It really shows that this genre is a mirror for all of us. It reflects our vanity, our pettiness, our desire for power, and ultimately our fragility.
That is a great way to put it. It's never just about the wine tossing. It's about the human condition under pressure.
And that is exactly where we will leave it. I want you to think about that Lisa Rinna segment we started with. If the social hierarchy is as controlled as she says it is, are we watching reality, or are we watching a carefully curated survival guide for the elite to stay in the in crowd?
That's the real question.
Thanks for deep diving with us. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next update.
Goodbye, everyone.